Hide your kids, hide your Wi-Fi, because Microsoft is installing Microsoft Recall on all systems up in here. All 24H2 systems. I love it. I love it. All right. This is going to be great because I got a bunch of comments. On the past video that said, Titus, you're being a dirty YouTuber. You're lying to us. Microsoft would never install Recall on all systems, much less make it a dependency in File Explorer. And I was like, yeah, buddy. To be naive, to trust Microsoft. I remember those days. Oh, they were nice. But some of us aren't ciphers from Matrix. And today, we expose it. But more so, let's just actually replicate everything, because that's the big thing about this whole thing. Because it all just came apart from some issues with MicroWin. I was just developing, and Coding Wonders has been helping a lot with the MicroWin as well, and it just kind of came through as a bug, and I was like, wait a second. We had to re-enable the Microsoft Recall feature so File Explorer works? That's strange. And then when we looked at the NT Lite change logs, well, NT Lite was also seeing the same thing. So the big thing here is let's just show the issue. Right? Pretty easy. And I was like, let's just make that the theme of today's whole stream. That way, when someone has a comment and goes, Titus, you're full of it. You're just peddling all this stuff, and you're lying to us. There's no way Microsoft would just install Recall on everything. Man, I wish you were right. I really wish I could respond to that comment and be like, yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm just farming views over here. And I can just link them to this stream and go, okay, here's 2 hours of us on the desktop messing around in old Windows. So obviously, I mean, I don't use Windows as my host. Yeah. What kind of crazy person would use Windows as their main box? But anyways, we'll get going here with this. We're going to first use an older version of Windows to make a brand new iteration of MicroWin and show you the main problem. So this is what the File Explorer now looks like. You have tabs up here. Everything works great. The downside is when you remove the Recall feature in 24H2 and above, and if you're wondering which builds of 24H2, let's go WinVer. Fat fingered that. WinVer, you will see 24H2. If you see this new version and you're an unlucky person that updated, well, there's other bugs and stuff with 24H2, but really the big one we're focusing on today is Recall. Recall became a dependency for the new tabbed File Explorer. So when you removed Recall, it reverted it back to the old school Explorer without tabs, and it had a big ribbon bar, kind of like how circa Windows 10 looked around 2016, 2017. So if you see like an old version of that from stripping out the Recall feature, that's what it is. Now, let's look through the issue real fast, and we're going to try and replicate it on this machine by just stripping out Recall and disabling the feature direct. And then if that doesn't work, we're going to download the 24H2 and do a fresh install using the strip out tool where we strip out Recall from the actual install to make sure we can replicate everything. So that's the big thing here. Oh, we got a better desktop, GitHub desktop for me. All right, I'll check it out, Adam. Probably not today, though. We're going to be doing a lot of Windows Utilities Microsoft Recall investigation today. So probably not too much on the program in front like we do a lot of days. But we will definitely get to it next Tuesday. If you don't see me on it next Tuesday, yeah, remind me again. So let's look at our issues first. And we're going to come down. I think it actually might have gotten closed. Let's just go to the closed. And File Explorer issues on 24H2. And this one, I believe here, this is one of them, but I also got an email from someone too showing the images, but let's replicate. Bug 24H2 UI behavior. Still not showing. So a bunch of people were reporting the bug, but yeah, here's the old school look of it. So what that transpired to be, heck, I linked it in my video today. Let's just pull that out. Let's go YouTube. Oh, Chris Titus Tech. I got so many dang YouTube channels, I tell you. All right. Oh, gotta love my facial expressions there. All right. We're going to go directly to the description, and I linked the issue that I saw. Here we go. Now, the big thing here was running this issue fixed it, which is just removing or adding back in recall. Now, in theory, we could just reverse this and probably replicate the exact same thing. So there we go. We're going to just go disable feature. Just like this. So we go DISM, online, disable feature, feature recall. Let's see what happens. We'll reboot our system after this and see if this reverts the file explorer. If not, we're going to do a fresh install using the old build of Windows Utility. So that's been disabled. Now we might need to reboot. Still got the new file explorer. Let's give it a little kick and see what we get. No matter how many times you disable it on an online install, the Explorer will look the same. This happens with offline Windows images, what Coding Wonders says. So I want to just verify that. This is an online image, already been upgraded for a while. So now we will see, it probably shouldn't change based on what Coding Wonders said here. And then we're going to grab a brand new 24H2 image. We'll use the build from 11.1 without the recall code in it. That strips out recall. Why does chat always tell me to read chat? Gosh, you guys should know by now I don't read chat. Just catch the occasional chat message. All right, what do we have? You suck at reading chat. It's fair. It's a fair analysis. I'll allow it. Okay, so now we should still see the new Explorer, even after disabling, as we do. So now let's make a new image, and what this image is, we'll show you the last pull request, the micro win pull request, where we added this code in, and we're going to show you exactly what that does. So we'll go to our pull requests. These are just additions of code that were fixed. We're going to go to the first anniversary special PR. This is the code that was added. And basically, we're making sure that recall right here, let me blow that up a little bit so y'all can see. This says, hey, if not like recall, uninstall it. So anything that's recall, remote desktop, search engine, NFS, micro, there's other ones in here. I'm not going to go through them all. But recall is the one that got added during this pull request that happened just 2 days ago. So we're gonna not accept this code. We're going to go back to the 11.01 release. So let's go to WinUtil releases. The cool thing is this also shows if you don't like the latest version of Windows Utility, and you're like, Titus, you lost it. You know what? September's WinUtil was just so much better. Fine. Just use September's one. We're just going to copy that address. And what we can do is just go here. And we're going to go WRR. Going to put that whole address and IEX. And this is going to launch the September WinUtil. So here it comes. You got that. I'm just going to do an about to make sure. 912. Perfect. So we'll go to microwin and we're going to grab the new ISO. So obviously we don't have the download tool in here yet. Let's download the brand new direct from Microsoft 24H2, microsoft.com, software download, Windows 11. I also could have clicked on it, I believe. Yeah, right here would have also taken us to this page. So we're going to grab the disk image, the ISO right here. We're just going to go multi-edition. Download now. And English. Confirm. All right. And finish with the download. So this is just direct from Microsoft.com. I know, I got a bunch of vampires in chat. Burning their eyes out. Oh, man. So this will download. We should have a pretty fast download here, about 30 seconds. 5.4 gigs on this one. And it's version 1. I want to download this version direct from Microsoft as of 10. Well, it says 10/11 UTC. So that's actually tomorrow. But regardless, it is the latest download of Windows 11. Yeah, I always turn off dark mode whenever I'm not streaming. I guess I'm one of the few people that can rock a light mode. Maybe just years of sysadmin work and staring at like BIOSes that were designed by a madman with just the bright white. I'm looking at you, HP. All right, we're going to just take this guy and we're going to feed this ISO from downloads. We just downloaded right into here. It's going to copy all the files, and we're going to make us a brand new instance. Nah, you're just crazy. Fair. That's fair, Adam. That's a fair point. You wouldn't be the first nor the 10th person to call me a crazy person. Okay. So we've got that. We should have this pop up and populate with a version. We're going to choose Windows 11 Pro, as that's going to be probably the most used version out of all of these. And again, one of the only changes we've made in this change between the September and the latest version, which we just published today as the latest, is the fact we're now leaving recall feature in by default and then disabling it after the system boots. So that essentially disables recall. The files are still in the root of there, but if you do an offline install and you remove recall out of the gate, this is what's going to happen. We should see a replication of an older regression in the File Explorer. But again, let's see. Subscribe is the username. We're going to just do an auto login with blanking the password. So we'll start the process. We're going to call this one MicroWin Recall. Save. Which Windows build introduced recall? I believe the latest build that was released on Tuesday, which was 24H2, the actual build number I don't have yet, but we should be able to get that build number on the initial boot as long as we're able to replicate all these bugs, because I just got flooded. Now, is it possible Microsoft's gone in 24 hours and fixed this through the ISO? Maybe. I doubt it. We'll see. Randy, thanks for the cheer. 500 bits, man. Much appreciated. It should be 26100 for the build number. Thank you for that, coding. Selenium builds also have this feature. Okay, so if you have a Selenium build, you should see this regression as well by removing recall on an offline image install. No. What they achieve, Lucas? I've been wanting to try Asahi Linux. I have an old Mac 1 M1 Mac Mini over here that I've been jonesing to throw old Asahi on. Linux mentioned. I'm like, Linux. Yeah, it was hilarious that the video from yesterday with Micro and everyone's like, I'm switching to Linux. This is it. I'm done with Windows. Oh, man. That's funny. I mean, honestly, I think most people, my next video I'll make on the main channel will be just showing people how to do like Hyper-V so they can test out Linux and make sure that they want to do that. Because I think testing it out and just kind of figuring a few things out before just jumping into the deep end is advised, I would say. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. I honestly don't think recall is going to have that much of an impact on a lot of folks when it comes to moving from Windows to Linux. I honestly just don't think most of the population cares about any kind of security or privacy these days. They're so used to just selling their information for free products that I think that's just the world we live in. So to me, while I see the comments, I really don't think this is going to have much of an impact on people moving from Windows to Linux. And that's just my 2 cents on it. So while I see like a lot of comments like, year of the Linux desktop, I'm like, oh yeah, that's cute. But at the end of the day, I really don't think it'll have much of an impact for most Windows users. Is it possible to use Windows? What was that? Is it possible worth to use your debloat tool on Windows 11 Home? I don't have Windows 11 Pro. Yeah. Kaffer, this should work on Windows 10 Pro, Home, everything. We've even made compatibilities for LTSC and a few others too. So pretty much every version of Windows, the debloat tool should work on. If not, you can always make an issue and we can look into it. Yeah, a lot of people actually move from Windows to Mac, believe it or not. Like the folks doing a lot of work, I think Mac is probably the easiest transition from Windows. It's still a little bit of a culture shock, but obviously the Mac ecosystem is just a little easier to absorb comparative to Linux. Don't get me wrong, I still love Linux way more than Mac, but that's just what I see from experience. Yeah, Mac's gained 10% in what, the last 3 or 4 years? Something like that. Hyper-V isn't necessary to try out Linux. Yeah, I just don't like WSL. I think WSL is kind of crap. Like, it's fine for like some syntax and running minor things, like maybe tossing a little lamp stack on your system and you're running Windows. WSL's fine for a lot of like really low level, or really not low level, but really like surface level things where you just need a little bit of Linux. But if you actually like want to try out Linux and actually like really get in and like immerse yourself, you pretty much have to be in it, you know? And I think Hyper-V pretty much gives you that, which is good. And you don't have to wipe out your existing Windows install or grab another hard drive and install it. I think then the progression is the dual boot, or you could even do like a Raspberry Pi for a good setup if you want to try it out and learn some new stuff. All those are good avenues, I think. Yeah, our work policy allows Windows, but they allow Mac users too. Linux, they don't support. Yeah, it makes sense. It's really hard to support Linux as well. That's the big thing. Yeah, I think we will see like a 1-2% from Windows users moving to Linux. I think Mac will probably see like a more of a 5 or 6% increase over several years. So I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue. but I mean, that's kind of par for the course. If we look at, we can get into the actual graphs and things of what the market share of Windows is. It's still over 70% Windows. So let's not make no mistake that Windows is not going to just disappear tomorrow. Even if they were like, hey, by the way, we've made an agreement with every government out there that we're going to share all your information, and there's backdoors so they can spy on everything you're doing. I mean, honestly, there'd still be more than 50% of the entire world's population using Windows, even if they came out and said that. Again, that's crazy. I hope I'm wrong, mind you. I really hope I am completely wrong by that aspect, but judging what I've seen and the history and what people's responses to that history is, I'm kind of like, yeah, I think people just do not care anymore. Free BSD desktops. You know, free BSD is good. I need to try it out more. I honestly never tried to main a free BSD. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like AWS was mentioned in chat. AWS actually has their own spin of Linux. They actually run their own homegrown distro. Yeah, you know, I've had a lot of people mention FreeBSD to me and like, it'd be fun. I'm always for trying that type of stuff out. That'd be fun. What do you think Amazon creates their own OS? It's mainly just for optimizations for their servers. I mean, they have just such a massive infrastructure with AWS that it's just kind of wild. Probably one of the bigger stories that most people just don't talk about these days is probably the fact that AWS had I think it was $1 billion contract, or more than $1 billion, with the Jedi project with the US government. And then I think it was one of the earliest Trump administration deals in the 2016-2017 era. They went back on the deal, killed the deal because of, I think, some lobbyists that went through Microsoft, and they actually changed the contract and re-awarded it from AWS to Azure, which is Microsoft's data centers. So kind of wild. I think both Amazon and Microsoft has a massive lobby with every government, really, but especially the US one. And it's kind of crazy to see how much money that the US government gives a lot of these FANG companies. So yeah, the Jedi Project, I think, is what it was called. It definitely a Star Wars reference, but if you look it up, I think it's... Let me make sure I'm telling you guys the right thing. This would have been... Yeesh. This is a while back. This would have been probably 6 to 7 years ago. Loses Jedi contract, I think. Jedi, why we continue to protest this politically corrupted contract award. Actually, 2020, so only 5 years ago. Department of Defense announced that it concluded a corrective action and affirmed its prior Jedi contract award to Microsoft. So Azure swept in and got it through some kind of contract negotiation. It was actually awarded to AWS because they're the market leader. And I really hate Azure. I would prefer AWS over Azure, just from I don't really care about the politics side of things. I'm just like, AWS is better than Azure in almost every metric. Anyways, so the DoD goes back on that and they re-awarded the contract over to Microsoft. I can't remember how much the money was for it. It did announce a corrective action and AWS did offer a lower cost by several tens of millions of dollars. But the DoD's decision to go ahead and pay Microsoft well above the cost, even though AWS was cheaper than Azure. As I'm honestly, if you go get servers right now, you're going to know Azure is way more expensive. I don't know how Amazon, I think Amazon's just more efficient than Microsoft, which, shocker. The sky is blue, water is wet. But yeah, I can't remember. Does it say the number that it was? It was a lot, though. Anyways, I am right. It was Jedi. And it was something, yeah, it was, I'm not going to get into it. It was a little too political for my stream, but it's fun to look at. If you want to see some crazy negotiations there, have at it. All right, we got the recall. And we've got our new thing. Let's see the brand new image that we've created. We'll go to the desktop. We're going to just take this guy. And we're going to push this into WinImages. And this is called the recall image we just created from the ISO we downloaded from Microsoft.com. And this is with the recall features stripped out. Set up a timer. Oh, yeah, we could do a timer. You guys want a timer on how long this install takes? Usually it's about 5 minutes. I mean, I have it pretty much down. We'll go ahead and shut down this guy. And we're going to just go virtual machine manager. Let's create a new one. We're just going to go forward with it. And we'll create a brand new images. Let's refresh that image folder. And we're going to call this MicroWin. MicroWin recall. We're going to choose that image. This is the one we just created. It's going to be Windows 11. And this has the recall feature stripped out. The thing I want to know too, if it does break File Explorer, as I imagine it will, what about when we re-add the image? Does it fix it? So that will also be the test. Let's go 12 CPUs. 8 gigs is a little bit shy on the memory side of things. I can't remember. That's the incorrect amount of memory to give it, but it's about 16 gigs. We'll give it 50 gigs of hard drive space. Recall tests. Let's customize. We're going to go with a bridge network, this one. We're going to come on over. We're going to change that topology. 6 with 2 threads. And we're going to start this install up. All right, here we go. Let's see, I can probably put some kind of timer on here. Let's go timer. We'll call it install timer and built tiling. Okay. It's a little bit bold, but hey, that's okay. Time. So we're gonna go source install timer, and I think I can just go. No, that won't play. That's okay. Period. I don't know if I have. I think this is just a countdown timer. Yeah, it's a countdown timer. Let's put it at 10 minutes. It shouldn't take longer than 10 minutes. Nah, it won't ever take longer than 7 minutes. All right, let's go here with that. Oh, pause, reset. All right, we're gonna go 7 minutes, and we're just gonna go ahead and start that clock. And we are going. Let's see how... I mean, I'm sure we can install it in 7 minutes. I also don't like this new setup screen. This kind of reminds me of Windows 8. So this is part of the new 24H2 install. You can see it looks very, very different. So we're going to click install. And it just doesn't give you as much information, so I don't particularly like that. Put this timer over here, right? Bam. Windows install any percent. Now, 23H2 we could get installed in under 5 minutes. Oh, 6.11 Adam for the Linux kernel. What do you think of the Windows LTSC? Well, most Windows 10 is going end of life next year. So I wouldn't install it today, but obviously if you're already on it, stay on it. You know, Windows 10 is a solid one. I just wouldn't do any updates. I would just stay on it until it goes end of life, and then approach what you want to go from there. Get the speed run timer. I know I should. SSD I'm using some cheap NVMe off Amazon. Most of my stuff's either secondhand or relatively budget. I don't really like spending a bunch of money on my stuff. Sometimes I get sponsors that send me stuff, but very rarely, because I'm always like, yeah, you guys don't have to pay me any money, but just give me the best equipment that you can give me. And sometimes they're cool with it, and I just shout them out when that happens. Is Windows install on speedrun.com? Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, maybe I just watched too much MacGyver growing up, and I really love just making whatever I have around me working. And I don't really care too much on the speed, as long as it's not like ungodly slow and just like super old. Cheap stuff, 4770. It's actually a 4070 Super. So, touche. It's not lost on me. Some of my stuff's really, really nice now. So I definitely, I will say, is YouTuber privilege at work there. Yeah, so what the current install, the latest version that we released today of MicroWin does is during the offline installer, the feature of recall is installed, but then as soon as it boots in, it disables the feature. And that allows the new File Explorer. Now, this version that we're installing right now, that feature has been disabled in the offline image and stripped out, meaning it doesn't exist. The files for recall don't exist in the system. And since the files don't even exist in the system, you run into some dependency errors. Apparently, and this is from all the screenshots and bug reports I've gotten, the idea is when we get on the desktop here, we're going to open up the File Explorer. It's going to look like Windows 10's File Explorer from like 8 years ago, instead of the new one with tabs. We're going to know real quick, do we have tabs? Can we open up zip files? No. Or not zip files, but like 7-zip or RAR files, then we do that. No. You can disable recall. You can't uninstall it though. So like the actual recall files must be on the system, because there's a part of the new File Explorer that needs those files. So if you remove it from the offline image and the files don't even exist for the recall feature, the new File Explorer won't work. So that's when I was like, it's mandatory that it is installed. However, you can still disable it once it is installed. That said, there's no guarantee that it can't get re-enabled by Microsoft at any point in time, or someone can't just flip a switch to turn it back on because the files exist. What we're talking about today, when I said, this is a really good point of clarity. When I said Microsoft recall is mandatory, it means it must be installed on your system in 24H2. If it's not installed, like this system here is not going to have any recall feature files on it, it has been removed from the offline image, it's not going to launch Explorer. Or it's going to launch an old version of Explorer because the new version, somehow these became dependencies. In theory. At least from everything I've seen from bug reports. And now we're verifying that. But we should be able to click disabled from DISM and accomplish a disabled recall, even though the feature's still there. And we have definitely verified it. With 100% certainty, this is the old version without the tabs. So when you click on this, that is the old version. So to fix this, here we can change the... Oh, it says I must activate. Well, you know what? I think if we use the tool, I can get around the activation because technically I do registry edits, which Microsoft shouldn't be able to block. Let's just change this really fast. Go dark theme so chat's not sitting there screaming at me going, ah, I'm blind. The light theme. All right, we'll go tweaks. Let's go dark theme. See, yeah, that still works. Yeah, Windows being Windows. Okay, so let's enable the recall feature now. So we'll go terminal with admin. Because when we launch Explorer, we have verified this is the old version of File Explorer. We're missing tabs. If I go to like downloads and there was a raw file or something like that, it would not open because it is the old version. The only thing I'm adding is the recall feature. So here we go. Look at the message for Adam to try out the feature. Oh, I love Hollow Knight. I love Hollow Knight too. That's great. My daughter's like obsessed with Hollow Knight. Oh, Live Split. Oh, geez, yeah. I actually set up that for her because she speed runs Hollow Knight. Yeah, I've set it up before. She's pretty good. She beat, I think, Hollow Knight in 2 hours. I mean, obviously not like world record setting, but still pretty good. Okay. Let's go DISM online, enable feature, and I want to say, can you give me a feature name? I can't remember. I think it's feature name recall. I can actually just pull up my video because I put it in the video. So I'll go Chris, Titus Tech, recall. There we go. All right. Nope. No, stop. All right. We got the request patch. I think I put it in the top comment though. Yeah. Feature name recall. That should be it. All right, so this is the command we're running. We're going DISM online enable feature recall. Right now, if you open this up, we have the old File Explorer. So the only thing we're doing is enabling the recall feature. And if this changes the File Explorer, when you go back in here, it would actually show the new File Explorer on reboot. So let's reboot really fast after enabling the feature recall. And see what this does. Does it fix it? We can remove the timer. Did anybody even see what the install timer was? Okay, so now we've rebooted the system. We're back on the desktop. We go to open up that. Look at that. I'm not a liar. Riddle me that, Batman. Huh? What's up? All we did was enable the recall feature. All of a sudden, File Explorer is now back to the new version. The crazy thing that I don't understand is I don't think the recall feature is in here. So people, I think the reason why people were coming after me are like, recall's not on my system. You're lying to us. It's not mandatory. And I think they went in here and were like, okay, recall. There's no searches. Recall isn't on the system, right? But it is. We just enabled the feature. And it has direct implications with File Explorer here. This looks completely different now that we've installed recall. So it begs the question, what the fuck are they doing? Seriously, what is going on with File Explorer that I enable a hidden feature that people don't know is installed with 24H2 to change the look of File Explorer? This build, 24H2 26100.1742, has this in it. Recall is somehow a dependency of the new File Explorer, 100% confirmed. We saw the old version of File Explorer. The only thing we changed was enabling the feature of recall on a fresh install. There's no other components here. So let's do a get features and see what this recall is. Maybe it's like a rebranded, maybe someone fat fingered it, and instead of recall, it should be File Explorer. I don't know, but I know enabling the feature called recall changed File Explorer. It has to be patched in the future. This is crazy. This is just straight up crazy. All right. So DISM, let's do a git install features, I want to say. Git packages, I think, is the correct one to do. I want to see what packages we're rolling with this image. I think we would just do a git package, and we'll do a list, format list probably. We could do a table. Let's do a table. So, let's do online. So here's all the installed packages. Let's just browse through here. Okay, this is packages. Let's do get features. Features. Okay, so here's our features that are installed. And let's look for old recall. Now, is it going to be specified here, or is it like hidden? I don't know. It's kind of funky. So I don't see recall here. But we enabled it, and that obviously worked and did something because File Explorer changed. Should have grepped it. Yeah, we'll do a git-feature info / feature name recall. Because I don't see the recall right here. All right. So let's do get online. And we're going to go get feature info. And we're going to go feature name equals recall. So it doesn't actually show from the get feature, so it's like actually hidden. I don't want to seem like crazy, like Alex Jones style conspiracy here, but you all are seeing this, right? We're live streaming it right now, and I'm pulling everything in, and recall doesn't exist in this list when I do get features. But when I call the feature name specifically, it does show that it is there and it is enabled. I mean, guys and gals, if this isn't a smoking gun, what is exactly? It may, maybe, okay, it's gotta be. I'm trying to think of other things this could be, because it's obviously a hidden feature, enabling the feature that is somehow directly interacting with File Explorer. The recall application. Recall. Display name recall. Restart required possible. State enabled. No other metadata or components. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you, DJ, Jory. I appreciate the subs. Yeah, I'm sitting here just going through it, and I'm just like, this is crazy, right? Microsoft totally geotanned us. Like, it's obviously, we can see with definitive proof now, we've installed a fresh version of Windows without this feature in it called Recall. It had the old version of File Explorer. As soon as we installed the Recall feature, just Recall, it gave us the new File Explorer. So there's a definite dependency of the new File Explorer with the feature called Recall. On doing a Get feature and also looking in the settings menu, the Recall feature does not exist from the look of it. So that's why people commented on my video going, Titus, you're just blowing smoke up our butt and just farming views saying Recall's installed on all systems. And I'm like, no. I just want to build a really good application. I'm just noticing these bug reports. And then we do this, and then we specify the feature name, and we say feature name Recall. And it says, yeah, that's actually a feature. Sorry about that. I left it off the list, but it's kind of enabled, and it's there. Now, in that same token, we can come back to this and just go disable. And I'll probably put this in the toolbox too, under like essential tweaks for telemetry. Because to me, this seems like a blatant malware, spyware, whatever you want to call it, feature that's running on the system. And then if we go this, state disabled, let's give it a reboot. And the thing I think will happen is I think we'll still retain File Explorer, the new File Explorer, and there's something in the new File Explorer that needs that recall feature files somewhere in there installed. So we still have the new File Explorer even with the recall feature enabled, but there's some type of file that this is going through. So there's definitely a new middleman in your File Explorer looking at it. And it says it's disabled now, but it's definitely hidden. But it is there, and it's definitely a feature. Now, the way that you can also get features from Windows, I like to use the AppWiz CPL. This will pull up the old, you guys might remember this from old Windows. They kind of hide a lot of this stuff. I still prefer the Windows 7 version of installing and uninstalling things from Windows because it's a little more powerful. And it gives you a nice little GUI. Now, on this, let's see if we can't spot recall. I don't see it being added here, which tells me they purposely hid the feature. So the feature's nowhere in here that I can find. We have media features, print to PDF. These have been here forever. And unless it's like a hidden subdependency or a hidden subcomponent of these, I don't see that. And I don't think they put it in like a .NET type thing. An old PowerShell 2. Nope. So I don't see it anywhere in the old window features from the GUI. And then the new settings menu doesn't have it at all either. From services, I don't believe recall is a service. So it is definitely, I want to say, hidden. But let's double check our services. We're just going to pull up services.msc to give you a total layout of that. Now, usually it'd be Microsoft Recall or Recall is what we're looking for. I don't see the service. And I don't see anything under here. Recall would be right in here. And it's not here either. So very well hidden in your Microsoft system. So I get why people give me a lot of hate in the comments section saying, hey, Recall's not on my system. And I'm like, well, technically, buddy, if you check your WinVer, the first thing, check to see your build numbers over 26100 and you're on version 24H2, launch into your terminal, and I want to know what you... Has anybody in chat... Has anybody in chat installed 24H2? That's what I want to know. And if so, I want you to run this command. Run this command from chat if you upgraded and say get feature info, feature name equals recall. What are your results? What is the default state of recall? Is it enabled or disabled? That's what I want to know. Now, I think I'm done with this experiment. We've done a fresh install. We've gotten everything. Now it's time to go over to my install of 24H2. I haven't really done anything with recall, I don't think, and we'll take a look. One says disabled, enabled, enabled, enabled by default, disabled. Okay. Enabled. Someone just disabled it. So if you upgrade to 24H2, the feature Microsoft Recall is enabled by default is what we're getting from chat. Fresh install, disabled, EU. Ah. So is it only American citizens that are getting it? Is there anybody, everyone that said it's enabled, where are you from? Updated, Kang, Canada, enabled. So Canada's also getting hit with this. I'm in the US, disabled by default. North America, US, Brazil, it was enabled. Asia, East Europe, disabled. Enabled in India. Okay. Greece. Mine's installed and enabled. Update from 23H2, based in the United Kingdom. Okay. I'm from Europe, enabled by default from Coding Wonders. He's the one that actually spotted a lot of this, and I saw he's the one that wrote the code. You have 24 build H2. There is no recall. It's an unknown feature. Luxembourg. Okay. We got a good mix, so it's hard to say. Some from East Europe say it's enabled by default. Some in Europe saying it's disabled by default. And a lot saying it is enabled. So, let's see what mine is, because I'm kind of curious. So, let's shut down this brand new system. And we're going to jump over to my primary. Let's run it. And see what we get. Sweden, enabled. Yeah, here we'll go through it again. We're gonna go through it again because I need to check it on my system, and we're gonna do a get feature to check it, and then we'll look at the enabled and disabled portion. It's wild that it's so well hidden. It's not a listed feature, nor is it a service, so it's very hard to find, and it's not in settings, but it is there, and it became there in 24H2 build 26100 and above. I don't think it's insiders only. I think it is 24H2 got released last Tuesday. So 24H2, well, no, I think it's been out for a week, hadn't it? It's only been like a couple days. And nothing with the Copilot chip. Nobody here in chat that we're talking about the recall, nothing has this Copilot chip. This is a brand new feature that is getting installed in 24H2 on every system, Copilot chip or not. These are just VMs I'm spinning up. Because I'm not upgrading my main system 24H2. Do I look stupid? I mean, I'm compartmentalizing this thing. Come on now. You think I trust Microsoft? The only thing I trust Microsoft to do is screw things up. Thanks, Microsoft. Created a whole career out of you being incompetent. All right, DISM online. There's the disable feature. This is actually how you would disable it. And I think I actually ran this already. Let's go get feature. I think it's get feature info and feature name equal recall. Yes. So mine's currently disabled. But if you want to disable it, this would be the disable feature as well. So really the two commands you want to do, check to see if the feature's enabled on your system. And if it is, run this command to disable it. These are the two big things. If you get anything from this stream, this is the two big things that need to be done. This command didn't work in NixOS. Don't think about it too much. Just random Microsoft hidden data mine of your system that you paid for. That's, I know you've said it 50 times. I saw it 20 times. I just didn't say anything. Again, sky is blue, water is wet. I think we already all know these things. If you disable the feature now and reset it, will it break Explorer again? It will not. We have tested that, so you can disable it and it won't. I think we could create probably like a little check for this. I could probably design like a front end for, hey, do you have recall enabled or disabled on your system? Because it's just a PowerShell command. We could also check and make like a little button to disable it for folks if they want to know these commands. Because most normies probably obviously won't know any of this. It could be. Armory Crate you disable from your BIOS, Woods Beetle. Armory Crate will keep prompting you, and you could add a block in like the Windows Sys32 and do it. That's what I do for Razer products because I really hate Razer's Synapses thing. It's like another like really crazy, heavy, spyware-laden. I mean, I don't know. Anyways, Razer's never going to sponsor my videos. So, yeah, it's a pretty bulky thing. So I created a tool called Block Razer. And essentially what I do is I go in and I looked at how Razer was auto-installing things. And if you ever wanted to auto-install things on a Windows system, we could learn from this. Oh, geez, did that crash on me? All right. I want to say it was like US. No, it wasn't here. I tracked it down. I couldn't remember. I'm going to say it wrong. Let's just go to my repo. Let's go Chris Titus Tech, GitHub, block Razer. Yeah, block all Razer installs. Where was that? It was C Windows installer, actually. And what I do here, this is the actual code. It's only like 5 lines. It's kind of funny, like all the crap you pay for in Windows, like a lot of applications ends up being like, hey, you don't need all that. You just need like 5 lines. I think installer is actually a hidden. It's a hidden folder, much like everything in Windows. It's hidden. So this hidden folder, basically what I do is I was like, okay, they're making a Razer install folder in the C Windows installer. So what I did to block all Razer installs was I basically just took a brand new folder, made the new item called Razer as a directory, because I noticed that's the directory Razer installers like to use. And then I removed all write privileges for it and took system ownership and said, no user nor any admin should ever take control of this folder. So then when the Blazor products get plugged in, it initiates the injection of their software or install. And it tries to go to that folder, and then the folder's like, nah, you don't have privs. Sorry, not allowed. And then it just fails. So you never actually see a Razor install on, and when you use this this script here, because that's all it's doing is it's just going, hey, don't search for new installers from Windows. And if someone installs a Razor device and it tries to create this directory, block it. And then it blocks Razor from ever popping up on your system. The downside is you can't change the cool colors on your mouse. So it's just perpetually green. Yeah. So I think most average users are going to be like, I'm sorry, but I got to have my pink lights on my mouse. Please spy on me. And install this 700 meg malware package. You remember when they did the Bitcoin miner on these people's systems? That was wild. They're like, hey, you can now install this Razor application and we'll use your system to mine cryptocurrency. I was like, how is that legal exactly? Like, that just seems like so dirty. So anyways, Razor. Possibly the dirtiest company in the world when it comes to software. Yeah, they actually did create an official crypto miner. It's wild. Like, some of the stuff I say on stream, people are like, that can't be real. That's fake. That's fake news. And I'm like, well, it was actually a thing. Let's see here. Razor faces backlash after asking gamers to mine cryptocurrency for Razor rewards. Just full of fun. Oh no. What what happened there? They got an ad pop up. All right, ZDNet. Oh my, oh no. Oh no. I don't have uBlock Origin anymore. Did it finally break on the system? Damn it, the world's just going to hell in a handbasket here. I guess next we got to design some kind of ad blocker. Great. Anyways, Razor launched a new scheme touting store rewards and returns for cryptocurrency mining, and the payoff may not be as good as you think. Well, I mean, the soft miner. Razor launched this, dubbed the soft miner. Okay, they took it down. They took it down from their site. It was an official link to razor.com/soft miner. Yeah. I know I should just give up on Firefox, but yeah, you know, I'm waiting for Ladybird. I think Ladybird's going to be my next one as soon as they fix the browser. So here in 10 years, maybe. Yeah. So great. Thanks, Alex. I appreciate it. Let me throw even more money at you. You are an angel. Yeah. Well, this was wild. This is wild. I think this is going to be a short stream today, guys. I guess I think I've lost faith in much of the tech world. I just look at it and I just look around. I'm just like, y'all seeing this? Am I the only one that notices this? Because nobody's talking about it. What happened? Like, yo, what is happening? Like, I am not crazy. Well, I'm a little crazy, but I'm not that crazy. There's reasons, there's rationales behind these crazy thoughts. Yeah. I look at it and yeah, wild. Anywho, that's going to do it for today's stream, guys. I'm exhausted after doing this. I got to tell you, the amount of hate I got from that video from Microsoft apologists is wild. And I just wanted to take this stream to reinstall all of Recall and see if we couldn't replicate the issue people were having. And we definitely did. And this is where we're at. This is where I'm going to leave it for the day. I know it's a short one today, but damn it. There's one thing I have to say to the entire tech world. Do better. Please. Just don't be a complete asshole to your customers. That's all I'm asking. And don't treat us like we're stupid. That's all I'm saying. All right. Love y'all. Have a good one. I'll see you next Monday. And if I miss you on Monday, I got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Or no, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday is the stream days. All right. Have a good one. Peace.